Hello everybody, welcome to Before the Day Ends. So we are in our final chapter in the Gospel of Matthew. And Matthew's going to bring back some themes he started with earlier on and kind of bring them to a conclusion today, kind of this inclusio we talked about from the very beginning of our study of Matthew. So in the story of chapter 28, we have the resurrection, of course. And here we see from the very outset that we see two women, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, going to the tomb. So the first one's going to see Jesus, are women, which we talked about earlier in chapters 8 and 9, the role of women in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 15, another place where women are very, very important. Here, they're the ones who have the courage to go to the tomb while the disciples are hiding. When they get there, an angel shows up, says that he's not here, he is risen. They run back to tell the disciples the message of the angel, which is to go to Galilee to meet Jesus, because they're still in Jerusalem. Along the way, Jesus shows up, and then this happens. Verse 9, suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Greetings." And they came to him, took hold of his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me." So, first off, again, Jesus appears to women first. Disciples are hiding out. They have the courage to go to the tomb. He appears to them first, and they worship him. His instructions then? Tell the disciples to go to Galilee, which, by the way, had to have been a very difficult journey. Can you imagine being told to go to Galilee, this long journey, because Jesus wants to meet with you, after you had betrayed him, denied him, and were hiding out due to a lack of faith, out of fear. So they're hiding out, and Jesus is like, "You know what? We need to talk. Meet me in Galilee." So what do you think they talked about along the way? Were they nervous, scared, upset? I know I probably would be. But they go. They go to Galilee to see Jesus, which, by the way, is the real miracle of the resurrection. I mean, yes, Jesus rising from the dead is a huge miracle. But not just that he came back, that he came back to us. The ones who deny him, betray him, who are afraid, who lose faith from time to time, he still comes back to us. He didn't say, "You know what, you guys abandoned me when I needed you. You fell asleep when I was praying. I'm done with you." He doesn't. He comes back to them. He says, "I want you to meet me in Galilee." And they go. Then we get to verse 16. Now the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain to which Jesus had directed them. When they saw him, they worshipped him. Get this, but some doubted. He is standing right there, alive, in front of them. He was dead in the tomb for 3 days, and now he's standing there in front of them, and still they doubt. Again, another theme that was brought up earlier with John the Baptist. Even the best of us have doubts. Even the best of us struggle. This is not an easy thing. And we see that here. The very disciples who see him alive at the resurrection doubted. Doubt is not the enemy. What we do with doubt, how we react to doubt, that's what's most important. How do we react to the difficult times of our life when we are struggling, when we have doubts? They go to see Jesus. They stay there. They watch. They pay attention. And Jesus said to them, verse 18, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me." This was a question very early on. If you look at the Sermon on the Mount and what the Pharisees and Sadducees and other religious leaders were struggling with, where does your authority come from? Who has authority to forgive sins? By whose authority do you say these things? Go back and look through Matthew. See how many times authority is mentioned. And here's what's the conclusion. Jesus says clearly, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. The buck stops with me. There's no other ruler, president, leadership, boss. No one else has ultimate authority over you. Only Jesus does. He has authority over the universe. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. The same one who comes back to us when we doubt has authority over everything. And then here's his command. We call this often the Great Commission. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. So go into the world and make disciples. baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. Now, will everyone become disciples? No. Jesus said the way is narrow that leads to life. But those who are disciples, we are to teach them to obey everything he commanded. Not some of it, not part of it, not the stuff that the world likes or the stuff that the world agrees with. And the stuff that they don't agree with, let's just not teach that. No, he says, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded. This is something that I'm pretty passionate about because I see a lot of Christians today will kind of pick and choose the stuff that the world agrees with, they'll teach that. The stuff the world does not agree with, they won't teach that. But here's the reality of it. You and I are accountable. If we teach something to someone that's inappropriate or wrong or leave something off the table because we're afraid we're going to be criticized for it, if we don't teach those things, we're accountable to that person and to God. Because this is the command. Teaching them to obey everything I have commanded. And that takes courage. We trust in the one who has ultimate authority on heaven and on earth to teach and obey everything. Not just the parts we like or the parts that the world agrees with. And finally we have this statement. And remember, I am with you always to the end of the age. So, at the very beginning of this gospel, what was Jesus called? You call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. In the end, he says, don't forget this, I am with you always to the end of the age. He died and came back to us. That is the theme of this book. God is with us always. The one who has authority over all things is with us always. And that gives us courage, and that gives us hope, and that gives us the ability to have faith in the midst of fear that's all around us, especially today. He is with us always to the very end of the age. I hope you've enjoyed this study of the Gospel of Matthew. Now, if there are other books you're interested in us studying together, please let me know. You can email me directly, or perhaps you can go to our website, beforetheDayEnds.org, and you can leave a note there for us. And we hope to see you next time, before the day ends.